Hi there, it's Martin here from Refurbishment Mastery. You've probably noticed that building prices are rising at the moment here in the middle of 2022. In this video, I'm just going to go into a little bit more of the consequences of that and how you can factor that into your refurbishment budgeting. So as I say, I'm recording this in the middle of 2022. We've seen rising material prices really over the last 8, 10, 12 months or so, and we're now starting to see a slight increase in labour prices. But we are also starting to hear talk of recession coming, and there is a chance that before the end of the year it may be considered that we are into a recession. We've also got inflation generally that is said to be around about 10%, but many consider that it could actually be in reality 12 or even more than that. So we have got a rise in prices coming along at the moment, and you can factor those rises into your budgets now. This time last year, it would have been hard to factor those rises in. We didn't really know that they were coming to the extent that they did. But here we are now in the middle of 2022, and we know that prices are going to creep up. I don't think they're going to creep up massively, but they will continue to creep up through the remainder of the year or so. Significantly, we also know that with inflation, house prices are going up as well. House values are going up, property values are going up. So it doesn't matter quite as much that prices are creeping up at this end, because prices are creeping up at this end when you come to sell or refinance. It will sort itself out. And you might have been really lucky to buy a property at a low point a few years ago, and you do some work and you can add even more value because the property prices are going up. Now, at some point, those property prices are likely to start dropping off again. Now, I suspect that could easily be the early part of 2023. We'll just start to see things go down again. So I think we've got a little bit more growth, probably not as steep as it has been, but we will see some more growth through 2022, and then we'll start to see things drop off in 2023. Now, things that you need to be aware of relating to your refurbishments is, whilst prices are creeping up, there are going to be some builders that get into financial difficulty. They priced the project 6 months ago, they didn't factor in the rise in inflation that we've got, and as a result they can't actually deliver for the project for the price that they've quoted you. If that's the case with you, you need to be working with your builder, you need to be negotiating with your builder, you need to be finding a solution. You need to do your best for the builder not to pull off site and remove their resources, because it will cost you more in the longer term in time and in money if you lose your builder. So if the builder indicates to you that they're not that they're aware of increasing prices and they can't do the project for the price they quoted, you need to have a meeting with them. You need to try and find some kind of solution. As far as what's going to happen going forwards, we'll get to a point where if there is a bit of a recession, if there's a recession on the horizon, we'll find that public end of works, not the public as in the council side of things, but members of the public that have work carried out to their house, what we'll find is that if there's a recession looming, members of the public will not have those extensions done to their house. They won't have that loft conversion. They won't necessarily move and buy something they can improve because they will be concerned about a recession. So as a result, that's going to free up building trades that would have been working in those environments, which is what they're doing at the moment. That's why builders are so busy, because there's so much money sloshing around at the lower end of the market that the builders are covering that. What we'll find is those builders will come back into our market, their prices will be a bit more competitive. And what you'll find as the year finishes off, the second 6 months of this year, you'll start to find that builders are starting to have more capacity, and you'll start to find that their prices get a little bit more competitive, so that you can bring them in and start working through early part of next year with them. Because they're going to hopefully be competitive October, November, December this year. The fact that values and prices might drop a little bit next year, I don't think it won't be significant. You'll be buying at good prices anyway. The indication seems to be that prices will drop off a bit, but not massively. They might drop 4 or 5%, but inflation will help erode that, because inflation at the moment is 10-12% or so. So that's kind of where I think we're going to go through the latter part of the year. I think, if in summary, it's hard to find builders at the moment in the middle of the year, but I think it's going to get easier. I think you're going to find that builders become a little bit more competitive later towards the end of the year. I think you're going to find material prices, whilst they continue to rise, they start to level off a bit. Might have a little bit of a spike in labour prices, but per se in building, they might spike into the summer, but they'll drop off again in autumn if they do spike. So I think, if you're putting budgets together now for things that you're going to deliver later in the year, running on into next year, you don't really need to worry too much. If there is an increase in price, it will pretty much come and be covered by your contingency. So don't worry too much about that. Just make sure that you're aware that if things run on longer, if you're looking at larger projects, be aware that we'll start to see values dropping in the longer term. So kind of be aware of when your projects are likely to be complete. It's very hard to predict anything over anything much more than a year in advance. We don't know where things are going. So that's my thoughts on what might be going on in the next 6 months or so, and what you need to consider in the latter part of 2022. I would encourage you to like and share this video. I've got a whole suite of videos here on YouTube to help you with your refurbishments, not just from the economical perspective as I've just been speaking about, but from the perspective of managing your projects and delivering your projects out. I really look forward to catching up with you on another video very soon.